Welcome back to the 9PL podcast. We have another team announcement today, the ILS Mustangs. Gerard, thanks very much for joining me, mate.
Thanks for having me, mate. Really appreciate being part of it this year.
So tell us about the ILS Mustangs. What does ILS stand for to start with?
So we've got two parts of the team. So the ILS side of things is our sponsor for the event. So that's individualised lifestyle support. They're a disability support company, but more of a boutique mob that look after people on NDIS. So they provide support all the way from in-home care to, taking people to do their shopping and that sort of stuff. But they're really sort of customer focused and people focused. So they're a great company to have on board with us. They've supported us for the last couple of years, and when the opportunity came up for this event, they just jumped on board straight away and said, "Let's do it and let's do it together." So grateful to have them on board, and the Mustang side of things. So they're just a local community club in Logan. So I've been a part of their crew since about 2018, on and off, and then sort of took over as a coach for those boys in 2021, I think, or 2020, and we've just been sort of building ever since. So it's a great opportunity for us to get around this and keep building on that.
That's awesome, man. I think both parts in the combination of one, Logan City itself, a community club, and then ILS itself. I mean, I had a quick look at the website. It looks like they have a very individualised focused on their clients, and they really want to make the best experience for them as well, and make, I suppose, the world accessible for any of their clients. And which is brilliant, because it's very easy to forget how fortunate you can be, not having any type of disability or something that stops you from being able to fulfill a really, I suppose, to better or worse say it, a lifestyle that a lot of us take for granted without
100%.
knowing.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
The combination of both, mate, that's excellent. And so what's your role within the club now? Like, are you still coaching? Are you playing?
Yeah,
What's that sort of look like?
I'm coaching the men. So that there's three of us that coach the men's team. So I've over the last couple of years grabbed a couple of assistants who have really good footy heads on them, and they're still young blokes. So Dylan Gonchi, who'll coach us for the nines, because I'll be putting the boots on.
Stop it.
Yes, yeah.
Off goes the cobwebs, eh?
Yeah, so we've been doing that at training, dusting them off, and then Cameron McHugh's our other assistant coach, and he's decided to put the boots on as well with me. So he's a good little halfback that we've got there, and has plenty of experience on his head. He's a few years younger than me, but I think his body feels as old as mine does. So.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah.
Oh, very good. So what made you interested in entering? And I know that you sort of had reached out initially, and we didn't have any spots available, and then one had popped up, and we were so thankful that you were ready and available. And it sounds like you got such a great community club and blokes like yourself who are just keen on getting back in and around it, really, and looking for an excuse to dust off the boots and have a run again. But what made you interested, and what's it like at training now for you guys?
So last year we watched, actually one of our boys played last year for one of the teams. So Exodus played in one of the teams last year, and so I watched all the games last year, and obviously with you running it, and I know I sort of remembered you from years ago, and I was like, it'd be good to get around that. And had a goal in mind to play some nines footy over the last couple of years. We played a nines comp last year, our first ever one, and this was always the one that I thought, this will grow. This comp is going to grow really well, and with our team growing, it was sort of a perfect opportunity for us to jump in and go, well, let's do it together, and let's make sure that we can get on board this as well, learn something along the way, and just an opportunity. We got plenty of young blokes in our team, so an opportunity for them to play around some older heads as well. So some of the boys that are playing, it's going to be an honour for some of the boys and myself even to play alongside and against them. So
it's interesting. A lot of teams have sort of said, whether they're a person who's played 200 NRL games or someone who just plays local, regardless, they're excited to play each other. They're excited to get back into the sport, and I think the culture of the tournament itself is just fun. Everyone's just interested in having fun and getting together, having a good preseason hit out, which is ideally, hopefully, what sets up your year, because it is just the one weekend. But it's exciting to know that you've got young blokes in there getting a shot too against some blokes who've played,
they've done it all
at top level,
yeah.
And they'll be getting photos and arms around them after, and genuinely asking questions about how they do it after the career sort of finishes up as well. So I suppose how do you play? Like, what's the brand of the ILS Mustangs?
We're it's all attitude based for us. First and foremost is you won't see us whether we're up by 50 or down by 50. We've instilled in the boys, don't give up, don't stop.
Great.
That's what it's all about. I don't really, we want to win. Everyone wants to win, right? We know we're up against it and that sort of stuff. But we're here to compete. We want to compete with the boys that are playing. We will play. We'll chance our arm, but I don't want us to throw the ball away. So, I don't see us leaving any opportunities on the table. We'll take what we can, but avoid some of those silly areas that you'll see it in pre-season footy and having some fun. So we got a bit of pace out wide. We don't have a lot of size. We got one or two boys that are bigger, but we're probably a smaller team. But yeah, we'll have a bit of pace out wide. Hopefully that'll help us. So
yeah, great. Yeah. See, that's where we differ. I am high risk, low reward type player.
Always.
That's why I'm not playing in this carnival. So do you feel like you're sort of training towards the 9 style? Like, do you feel like this will suit your team, or are you sort of adapting to try and play with what you're coaching?
So yeah, we'll adapt with what we've got. So we've picked so while our squad is a lot of boys that'll be playing with us this year. There's a couple of boys that we've brought in for the Nines tournament that just from other clubs locally and that sort of stuff. And
who? Give us a name drop.
No one that's crazy. But look, we've got a couple of boys from the sunny coast.
That's the best part too. Yeah. That's what I like about this, because last year some no names absolutely killed the comp. Yeah. There's Curtis Scott. He was probably the best hands down.
Yeah.
And then you had a couple of other notable players who played first grade who were good. Below that, you had some super handy players from Port Macquarie, around in Wollongong, Western Sydney, Brisbane as well. Actually, 9 o'clock had a stack of boys from Logan.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
it would have been. I think that's who X played for.
Yeah.
So give us a couple.
Look, we got and maybe a bloke with a bit of NRL experience. He played Jersey Flag for the Tigers. So Fasa Leilua. He played flag a couple of years ago, so he's joining us this year for the season. So he's it's a really good pickup for us. He's just sort of finding his feet again in footy, and hopefully he can keep going on to bigger and better things again. We've got a couple of boys from the sunny coast just confirmed last night, so they play for Nambour A grade up there, so they'll be making the trip. They'll
good comp too.
Yeah, so it's a good one, and we played some nines up there last year, so it was good to hear, because they did all right in the nines up there as well. So. Good to have them there. They've got a bit of experience in that area. And then we just got, we got a young fella, Alex Butler. He's pretty quick. Chris Afamasanga, he's also a quick lad. So a little bit of pace and strength there that we can use. And,
great.
And I think nines will suit those boys a little bit better. We got, a couple of veterans to our club. So we got 2 boys that have played all their junior footy with our club and everything. So they've sort of come through in Tavita Falili and James Ward. So those 2 boys they've been Mustangs for life. So it's good to have them. As we've grown as a club, we've grown so much in the last 3 years. They've sort of continued on, and also Brighton Inwood as well. He's another one that's stayed within the club, and he's continued to grow with us. So they've been in our top div side the last 3 years as we've progressed. So it's really good to see those boys, improving every year. And for them, especially Tavita, he's looking to go to Wynnum this year and play some A grade. So for him to play with some of these boys here on that weekend, I think it'll be good for him to see that he's not far off, and that just a little bit more training, a little bit more pushing will help him through it. So.
Yeah, and it also continues to grow the club, and also, you got to give back to your own community. So these guys who've played juniors there are back, giving back to some young fellas who get a shot to play with them against some, players who they might idolise and or want to have a performance against. So I think it's it's safe to say that the Mighty Mustangs are in a safe place, mate.
Yeah, look, that's the goal. Look, we coming together with them a few years ago, and it's a good vibe there. We got another so we got sort of our president coaches our women's team, all that sort of stuff. It's a good vibe, the club at the moment, and I see it going in the right direction. And for me, just helping them out, it's great. That's what it's all about. Like we all have footy in common, right? And that's the one thing. We can be from anywhere, but having footy in common for me is a grounds for us to grow and help each other out and sort of get around each other. So
giving me some diamonds there for quotes, mate. I'm stealing that. Clip that up, Em. Yeah. That's outstanding. What are you looking to get out of the carnival in a sentence?
Look, sort of, I guess putting Mustangs on the map for us and our sponsor ILS. We want people to know who we are, what we're about, and that's it. That's really what we want. You know, we want to learn through this comp, and that'll help us too.
Brilliant. I think through the broadcast and what ILS are doing, obviously giving you guys the opportunity to be able to do this, and vice versa, you're putting them up on a broadcast. You know, with some great teams to play against in what is the newest, I suppose, format of rugby league that's been around for a little while, but in a different sort of setting. Hand in hand, it'll work out well. So, really appreciate you jumping on, man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for entering. We're stoked to have yous, and looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time.
Can't wait, mate. Thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
Thanks, bro.
Cheers.